Okay, with the extra time that we're going to have, we'll probably have 2 days. We're going to do some printmaking. This is with just a styrofoam plate, and you're going to take just a dull pencil and draw on top of this. So you don't want to have something that's going to be pointy or it's going to poke through, but then you would be able to just like draw through and it'll make a dent in this foam, okay, and you'll be able to feel that, okay? You don't want to push so hard that you go all the way through it. If you mess up, you can flip over and you can draw something on the other side and try it again, okay? So this is what mine looked like. I was creating just lots of shapes. I put some lines in these. I could do some other stuff on this if I wanted to, but you can see how I found the middle of this one and then I've printed it 3 different times and I rotated. Okay. So it's kind of up to you on what you want to do with this. This is a square, just 9x9 piece of paper. And so the first thing that we need to do is find the center of this. So we're looking for 4.5. I'm just going to guess where it is, like in the center here. So I'm going to mark at 4.5 on this side, and then I'm going to turn this way, and you can see like I was only at 4. So I'm going to scoot myself over right here, and this is my new, like I need to be in the center. So it should be, you can double check, it should be 4.5 from all of those sides, okay? And we're not trying to be like super crazy perfect on this. I mean, this one might be 4 and 2, 4, like 6/8 instead. So, or 5/8. So it doesn't really, you get it as close as you can. So then you want to figure out, okay, what is going to be the center? I'm going to go ahead and print this time, and I'm going to make this the center instead, and see what that does, because it's going to change what the pattern looks like. I did pick like 3 markers that I liked over from the ones up on the table. Okay, these are bigger. These are broad tip markers. And the way that you're going to use these is you have to color more like with the side of them than you do with the point. Okay, if you color with the point, then you can make indents on this styrofoam. Okay, so, and it doesn't have to be, again, super perfect. You can kind of color over some of the areas with the other markers, but you do want to have a good amount of ink on top of this, because if you don't, then you don't have any chance of this printing over. Okay, and I'm trying to not touch it, just like touch the edges and get all of this covered up. Apparently I'm trying to start a meeting. There we go. Okay, so just go all the way through and get that colored. Same thing with this one. I didn't wash mine off in between because I wasn't really changing the color. I was putting the same thing in the same place. So once I printed it, I just kind of left it alone, and then when I was ready, went back and colored on top of it. Okay, so last one. If you touch it with your fingertips, then you just have to go back and color over that section. I have a few places with this blue-green that I'm gonna come back and kind of hit. Okay, and then you also have to watch your fingertips, like from getting marker on them, because the paper is gonna get wet. That's how this is gonna print. And then if your fingertips are dirty, then it will get on your paper. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. I'm going to remember which one I want to have in the center, right? So I'm gonna do this one. And then I'm going to use a sponge. This is a damp sponge. I can like feel and kind of squeeze that water in there. But if I were to squeeze it really hard, it would probably drip out. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the square area that I want this to be. And I'm going to push it. You can kind of see right there that there's some water on there. Do you see that shiny? And I'm going to scoot it down because this is a square and I have a rectangular sponge. But I'm going to press. You can see I got some. Do you see that part right there? That's from that marker. But I'm going to get this wet. And it's probably more wet than you think, like absorbed into the paper. Do you kind of see that where that's a pretty good. You see that? So there's no water on the surface, but the paper's wet. And so then I'm going to go ahead, put the corner right here, and then press this down. If you're a little crooked, it's okay. The next one is a lot easier to line up. Okay, but press on this enough to like push it down, but not enough to dent that foam. Okay, and then you're going to pull this up and you can see how that takes all that marker and transfers it over here. Maybe like right there I didn't get enough. You can try and line this back up and kind of press again, but this is just the nature of printmaking, right? It is not going to be 100% perfect. Okay, that is some of the allure of it, is it's got little imperfections in it, but really that's a pretty good print. Okay, so then you would just keep going, adding that color and getting this section wet. Okay, and I just did that over and over again. I looked, in the light to make sure I could see like a wet spot, right? But I didn't have like water running off of it. Okay, so we're gonna do that 4 times.